Good afternoon, everyone. So let us start our today's session. And today I am going to discuss one interesting topic, and the name of the topic is power. So let us discuss what is power. So normally we can say that power is the ability to influence others. That means what? Now, with the help of power, one person can influence or one person can motivate another persons. So in the organization, we can also find that power plays a vital role. So with the help of power, the organizations or the managers can control the activities of their employees. So normally in the organization, we can find three levels, that is top level, middle level, and lower level. So normally the order or the command which is moving from top level to lower level. So that means what the top level people give order or instruction to the middle level people, then the middle level people give order or instruction to the lower level people. In other sense, we can say that the activities of the middle level people will be controlled by the top level people. And similarly, the activities of the lower level people can control by the middle level people. So that means what now with the help of power, the top level people can control the activities of the middle level people. Similarly, with the help of power, the lower level people the lower level people's activities are controlled by the middle level people. In other sense, we can say that power is the influence or power, it is the ability to control or to manage the activities of the other people who are working in an organizations. And in lastly, we can say that power means it is the command. Power is one type of authority to give command or to give order to others. So normally in the organizations, the managers can control the activities of the people, or the managers can increase the efficiency of the people or employees with the help of that power. So move to the next slide. So what is the definition or meaning of power? So already I have discussed that power is the ability to influence people and events such as individual, groups, teams and departments. So see, it is the ability to influence the people as well as the events. Events means the activities which are performing in an organization. That means with the help of power, the organization not only influence the activity, not only influence the people, but also influence the activities of the people. So activities of the people is equal to the events or the programs of the organization. So all the programs can be be conducted, or all the programs can be prepared by the individuals, groups, teams, as well as department. So simply we can say that with the help of power, the organization can control the activities of the individual people. It can also control the activities of the group of people. Then it also control the activities of the teams as well as the different departments. In other sense, we can say that power is the ability to influence others, and it can be used to achieve objective, then resolve conflict and build relationship. Yes. So with the help of power, or power is the ability to influence others. To influence others means the other people who are existing in the organization, whether they are the individual person or whether they are the group or teams or different departments, and it can be used to achieve the objectives. Yes, normally each and every organizations, with the help of power, each and every organization is trying to achieve their objective. Now we'll discuss what is the objectives of an organization. The objectives of each and the primary or the basic objectives of each and every organization is how to get more profit, right? So that is the objective of an organization. And with the help of power, or yes, with the help of power, the organization try to achieve the objectives or goals of the organization. So power also helps to solve the conflict, right? So conflict means what? Not the misunderstanding or the quarrel between the people or between the employees who are working in an organization, right? So see, in the organization we can find, or organization is the combination of group of people, okay, where a group of people join together or work together to achieve a common goal or objective. If we can find more than one individual is working, that means we can find conflict, right? So with the help of that conflict, okay, so with the help of power, the organization try to find out the solutions of the conflict or misunderstanding which is coming, or which is coming between the employees who are working in the organization. It also helps to build a relationship. So with the help of power, the organization, also the managers, they are also trying to create a build or strong or cordial relationship among the people or among the persons who are working in the organization. It may, so the relationship may be between the employees and employees, or the relationship between the employer and employer, or the relationship between employer and employee. So it is the ability of an individual or a group within the organization to influence the behavior of other individuals or groups in order to achieve certain objectives. Yes, already I have discussed with the help of power, the organization can influence the activities or behavior of the individual persons as well as the group of person to achieve the objectives. Then, in other words, we can say that it refers to the capacity that a person has to influence the behavior of another person so that other persons act in accordance with one's wishes. Yes, it refers to the capacity. Capacity means the ability, right? Capacity that a person has to influence the behavior of another person. Yes. So with the help of power, with the help of power, one person can build a capacity or efficiency. With the help of that capacity or efficiency, one person can control the behavior of another persons, right? So here I'm discussing one examples of that power. So for the capacity that A has to influence the behavior of B, right? So that means what, A is a powerful person, more powerful person, or B don't have any power. So with the help of that power, A can influence the behavior of B so that B act in accordance with A's wishes. Yes, it's true. That means what? Suppose in the organization, two persons or two people are working. The name of one people is A, and the name of another person or another people is B, right? So with the help of power, right, and A is posing, or A is having power, and B don't have any power. So with the help of that power, A can influence the behavior of B. Or in other sense, we can say that the B can act according to the wishes of A, because A departmental relationship. Yes, so it power. So all the persons or all the people, they cannot carry out the power or power or position. So that person must have some potential. If one person don't have any potential, then that person cannot exercise cannot make the exercise of plan, sorry, power, right? So that means what, it exists as a potential or fully actualized influence over a departmental relationship. So the dependency based relationship to a, when A possesses something that B requires. Yes. So see, B has more dependent on A, right? Because A is having some power, right? So dependency of B's relationship to A, when A possesses something that B requires. Yes. Then A is having some power. With the help of that power, A can control the activities or the behavior of B. Similarly, A also trying to give something what B requires, right? So the greater B's dependence, the more power A has. Yes, as we know that B has more dependence on A, that means when A is having some power. So due to that power, A can easily influence or motivate or change the behavior of the B, right? So that's why we can say that B has more dependence on A, right? So this is all about power. Then let us discuss what are the characteristics of power. So the past characteristics of power is specific. Yes, definitely we can say that we can say that the power is specific, right? Power is always specific, right? So previously, as I said, all the people, they cannot make the exercise of power, right? The people who is having some capacity or ability or potentiality, they can make the exercise of power, or they can use the power, right? If one person don't have any capacity or ability or efficiency, that person cannot make exercise of that power. So that's how we can say that the power should be possessed by some specific person or for some specific event. For all the event you cannot carry the power, right? Then second one is a dependency. Yes, so normally we can the second characteristic of power is dependency. Yes, all the people who is having power, they have dependent on others, and the person who is having no power, that person has also some dependency on the powerful person. So previously, as I have discussed one example, that is A and B. A is a powerful person and B is a less powerful person. So that means here A has some dependency on but A has less dependency on B, but B has more dependency on A, because A is having some power, right? So similarly, in the organization, the top level people, they are having some power. So due to that power, they can control the activities of the employees who are working in the organization. So with the help of that power, the top level people can make the exercise of, or the top level people can motivate the people. They can increase the efficiency or effort or work ability or output or the productivity of the employees, which has to achieve the goals or objectives of the organization, right? So see, normally the responsible people, they can take the power, right? Responsible people, yes, if one person is responsible, then definitely that person will be dependable. Yes or no? Because normally the responsible people means the performer, those who are performer, they are the responsible persons, or they are the responsible people, right? The responsible people always try to achieve the goals or objectives of the organization, and in the organization, a single person cannot achieve the objectives or goals of the organization. So that person need the help of other persons, right? So that's how we can find dependency in case of power. Then next is expand or contract, right? Yes. So see, the position or the size of the power is not always constant. It is changeable. It is changeable. If we can find there is any change in the persons, then obviously we can find there is some change in power. Suppose one person is having more ability to control more power. In that case, the organization will give more power, and vice versa. Suppose one person don't have more ability or potential, a person don't have a person, suppose a person is having less potentiality to measure the power or to reserve the power. In that case, the organization will assign less power to that person, right? So that person, it is not always constant, it is expandable, right? Another thing is that if the objective or the event of an organization will be changed, then definitely we can find there is a change in power. Then next one is reciprocal relationship. Okay, so reciprocal means what? Normally we can say the mutual relationship, right? So see, normally there is a reciprocal or mutual relationship between the organization and the people means normally we can say that employees, right? So see, with the help of power the organization can control the activities of the organization, can find out the productivity of the employees. Similarly, as I said, reciprocal means mutual. Okay, so similarly the people or the employees, they can obey the rules and regulations of the organizations due to the power. So these are the different characteristics of power. Then move to the next. The next one is views of power and influence, right? So what is your opinion about the power and if in power as well as influence? So the views of power and influence is classified into two parts. First one is autocratic and second one is participative. So let us discuss what is autocratic view of power, right? So normally first let us discuss what do you mean by autocratic. Autocratic means what? Now when all the power or authority will be reserved in the hand of a single person, right? When all the power or authority will be reserved in the hand of a single person, then we can say that that is autocratic. In other sense, we can say that all the decision making when all the decision making capacity will be reserved in the hand of a single person, then we can say that that is autocratic. So autocratic view of power. So now we'll discuss what is autocratic view of power. Now under autocratic view of power, the power flows downward, right? So that means the power flows from top to bottom, means top level to middle level to lower level, right? So it is basically comes from the authoritative structure from the management. Yes, it is always comes from the authoritative means the due to the authority. So due to the authority, the top level people can assign some task to the middle level people, then the middle level people will assign some task to the lower level people, because it is autocratic and authoritative means the power flows from top to bottom. But the second one is the participative view of power, right? So normally participative is otherwise known as your democratic. So democratic, so see, autocratic means when the power will be reserved, but democratic means what? Democratic or participative means when the power will be divided or distributed among the different people or different level of employees who are working in the organization. So that one, that is known as your participative view of power. So under participative view of power, the power flows in all directions, right? So see, in case of autocratic, the powers are always flows from top to bottom, that is downward. But in case of participative, as I said, participative is democratic. So here all the decision making authority or capacity will be distributed or divided among the different level of people who are or the different level of employees who are working in the organizations, right? So and so that's why we can say that under participative view of power, the power flows in all the directions, right? It may be from topward or it may be from bottomward. Okay, so the power comes from both official and unofficial channels, right? Yes, as I said, participative means one democratic, or we can say the decentralization when the power will be distributed, right? So it comes from both the official power, official channels, as well as from some unofficial channels, and applied by activities in a group, right? So that the participative view of power, so it comes from both official channels as well as unofficial channels. So official channels means what? When the power will be flow from top to bottom, that is downsize. Okay, top to middle to lower. But unofficial means it may be top to bottom, or it may be bottom to top, or it may be horizontal. Then the next one is the difference between power and authority, right? It is one of the important topic of power. So what is the basic differences between power and authority, right? So on the basis of formalization, authority is the formal right of a person to issue order. Yes, authority is the formal right, or we can say that it is the official right, or it is the official authority of a person to issue orders. To issue order means to give command or to give orders to the other people. But in case of power it is not a formal right, but the ability of a person to issue orders, right? So see, authority is always having some official power, right? So due to the formal right or due to the formal authority, one person can use the power. You use that, or the one person can issue the order. But in case of power, it is not, sorry, it is not formal, it is not formal right, but the ability of a person to issue order. It is actually, it is not the formal right, because as I said previously, it may be official or it may be unofficial also, right? So it is the ability of a person to issue orders. So with the help of power, one person can issue the orders. The next one is on the basis of position. It is related to a position in the hierarchy. Yes, definitely authority, it is related to a position, right? Whether it may be top position or middle position or lower position. So it is related to a position in the hierarchy. But in case of power, it is related to a, it is related to persons, qualities, experience, expertise enabled to influence. Yes, it is related to a person, right? So previously I have said ki all the people, they cannot take the power, or they cannot make the use, they cannot make the exercise of power, because they don't have the ability or they don't have the capability or potentiality to handle the power, right? So it is related to a person. Second one is definitely it is related to the qualities. What are the qualities of an individual person? So qualities means, as previously said, the potentialities, right? So it also depends upon the qualities of an individual person. If one person don't have any qualities, then that person cannot carry the power. Then experience, yes, with the help of experience, one person can take the power. And expertise enable to influence, right? Yes, and it is the and power is the expertise that enables to influence others, right? Then on the basis of organizational structure, right, on the basis of organizational structure or organizational chart, it can be depicted on organizational chart, right? So we can find authority in the organizational chart. So power, it cannot be depicted on organization chart, right? So see, we can find authority, or there is a place of authority in the organizational part, but there is no but there is no place of power in the organizational chart. Okay, so that's why we can say that it cannot be shown on the organizational chart. The next one is your delegation. So on the basis of delegation, as it vests with higher authorities, it can be delegated to low level. So delegation means what? Now when one person give his power or authority to another person temporarily, right? Not for permanently, right? Of that means for a particular work or for a particular project or for few years, then that is known as a delegation. So delegation means it is a process of giving your own power temporarily to another person. So that is known as your delegation. So in case of authority, as it vests with higher authorities, it can be delegated to the lower levels, right? Yes, so authority delegates to the lower level people. But in case of power, it cannot be delegated, right? Yes, power cannot be delegated. It is the ability to influence people who may be senior or junior to him, right? So it is the ability to influence people. So with the help of power, you can influence your junior people. You can also influence your senior people, right? So that means what? Your authority, it can be delegated. But if you have some power, if you have some authority, you will temporarily give that authority to another person. But in case of power, it cannot be delegated. You cannot delegate any power to others. Then next one is a parity. Okay, so what do you understand by parity? Parity means normally we can say that equality, right? So authority is normally commensurate with responsibility. Yes, so normally in the organization we can find there is a parity or equality between authority and responsibility. So that means when if you are having some authority, if you are taking any responsibility, then the organization must give some authority to you. So without authority, it is not possible for you to perform the task or to fulfill the to fulfill that responsibility, to fulfill that assignment, right? So that's why that there must be a parity or equality between authority and responsibility. So without authority, responsibility cannot do anything. So similarly, without responsibility, the authority cannot do anything, right? But in case of power, there is no parity between power and responsibility, right? So see, there is no parity or there is no equality between power and responsibility. A person with maximum responsibility can have maximum power. Yes, if one person is taking more responsibility, that means that person is taking more power. Yes or no? Yes, if one person is taking more responsibility, then that means one another person is more dependable or that person have more dependency in other people, right? So that's why we cannot find a parity or equality between authority and responsibility. The next one is your stability. So authority tends to be more stable, right? So stability, what do you understand by stability? So stability means normally we can say that consistency, right? So see, authorities tends to be more stable. Yes, authorities are always stable, means constant, okay, and enduring over time as it is established within the formal structure of the organization, right? So authorities are always constant. It cannot be changeable, right? But it is enduring over time as it is established within the formal structure of the organization. So as we can find the authority in the formal organizational chart or organizational structure, so they are say it cannot be changeable. But in case of power, power can be more dynamic and can change based on the personal relationships. Okay, so power, it can be more dynamic, right? So authority, in case of authority, the power is stable, right? But according to power, so it is not constant or it is not stable, it is changeable according to the situation. That's why we can say that power is dynamic in nature. The next one is your concept, right? So it is a narrow concept and managers may have authority but no over or very little power, right? So it has a narrow concept, right? Yes, authority must have a narrow or small concept, and managers may have authority but but no or very little power, right? So it is a power has a narrow concept and managers may have authority, right? But in case of power, it is a broad concept and it includes authority, right? So see, power always includes authority, but authority never includes any power, right? So power derived from legitimate source is authority. So the legitimate source of power is authority. So these are the difference between power and authority. Then the next one is what are the different sources of power, right? So the sources of power is classified into two parts: internal sources and second one internal, so not internal, sorry, that is interpersonal sources, and second one is a structural process, right? So let us discuss all the sources of power one by one. Okay, so see, interpersonal sources. So in case of interpersonal sources, we can say that legitimate power. So legitimate power is based on from the positions in the hierarchy, right? Then export power means from having expertise in a particular area. Yes, if you are having some expertise in particular area, then we can say that it is expert. The next one is your reference power. In case of reference for interpersonal reference, so interpersonal reference means what? Now, what is your interrelationship with others? The next one is your coercive power. So in case of from the to ability to influence through threats, right? In case of coercive power, you can influence other people through threatenings, right? The next one is your reward power. Okay, so what do you understand by reward power? From the ability to offer and influence incentive. Yes, if you are offering something, okay, if you are offering something or influencing something by providing some incentive, then that is known as a reward. Reward means what? It is one type of encouragement to the employees. So you can give reward to the employees on the basis of their performance, and you can also provide that reward in the form of incentive. Incentives means it may be some monetary benefits or non-monetary benefits you will provide or you will give to the employees to those performance are good. Then next one is personal power. So personal means from an individual's characteristics, right? So from the individual characteristics we can find that is personal power. So let us discuss all the internal sources of power one by one. So first one is your legitimate power. So the legitimate power most often refers to a manager's ability to influence subordinates' behavior because of the manager's positions in the organizational hierarchy. So, say legitimate. Normally, what do you understand by legitimate? Legitimate means normally we can say that is lawful, lawful. Like so, legitimate people, legitimate power. Due to the help of legitimate power, the managers can influence or motivate the behavior of the subordinates because all the managers they are having some power or position. So, due to that power and position, if one person control the activities of other people, then that is known as a legitimate people. So, in the organization, the manager can control or the manage the activities of the people only through the legitimate power. Then after legitimate power, the next one is export power, right? So see export power, it is an individual's ability to influence others' behavior because of organized skills, talent and specialized knowledge. Okay, so due to the organization, organized skills, talent and specialized knowledge, right? So we can say that that is expert power. It is an individual's ability to influence others behavior, right? So expert behavior means it is the ability to influence the others behavior because of the organized skill. Due to the organized skills, the talent or specialized knowledge, you can motivate others. Okay, so you can influence others. So in other sense, we can say that it is the extent that a managers can demonstrate competence in analyzing, evaluating, then controlling and implementing the task of subordinates, right? They will acquire export power, right? So in case of export power, it is the extent that a manager can demonstrate competence in analyzing, evaluating, controlling the behavior, right? So after analyzing, evaluating, and controlling the behavior of the people, the manager can give some power. Okay, and so that power is known as a export power. Then after export power, the next one is your referent power, right? So referent power, it is an individual's ability to influence others, right? So with the help of referent power, or we can say that referent power means it is the ability to influence the behavior of others as a result of being liked or admired, right? So see, it is an individual ability to influence others through referent power. One person can influence the person is having some ability to influence others as a result of being kicked. Okay, so that can give a result that is linked or admired. You can like as well as admire that thing. For example, or for instance, subordinates identification with a manager often forms the basis for referent power, and so sometimes the subordinates they are providing the name of the other people on the basis of the referent. Okay, so due to that referent you can give your power or you can make your exercise with the organization. The next one is coercive power. Okay, so under coercive power, it is the individual's ability to influence others. So coercive, it is the individual's ability or it is the ability of an individual persons to influence others behavior by means of punishment for undesirable behavior, right? So under under coercive power, right? One person, not one person, the person who is having some power, that person can influence the behavior of others by providing some punishment, right? So sometimes we can influence the behavior of an individual person by providing some rewards, and sometimes we can control the behavior, or we can control, or you can influence the behavior of other people with the help of punishment, right? So for example, subordinates may comply because they expect to be punished for failure to respond favorably to managerial decision, right? So see, that means for now power said that is the ability of an individual person to provide you that is to provide some punishment, or to provide them some rewards. The next one is your reward power. So reward power, already I have discussed that reward power, right? So it is an individual's ability to influence others' behavior by rewarding their desired behaviors, right? So through reward power, the individual it is the ability of an individual person to influence others, or it is the ability of the manager to influence others' behavior. It influence the behavior of other people by rewarding their desirable behavior, right? The next one is employees comply with request and directives because of the authority of managers to grant rewards in the form of promotion, salary increase, bonus, as well as time off, right? So see, normally the manager can give different type of benefits to the employee. It may be monetary benefits, and it may be non-monetary benefits, right? So see, in the case of work, in case of monetary benefits, you can give promotion, you can give reward. But uh, in case of monetary in case of non-monetary benefits, you can give them holiday packs, you can provide them less working hours, then you will provide them open space to play, right? So time off, you will decrease their time, okay? So these are the, we can say that these are the time of, these are the non-monetary benefits, okay? So in case of monetary benefits, we can say that uh, that praise, promotion, salary, and then bonuses, etc. The next one is your personal power, right? So personal power, it comes from an individual characteristics, okay? So personal power is purely depends upon the characteristics of an individual person, okay? So see, it is given to an individuals because of recognition from their followers, right? Yes. So see, it comes from individual characteristics. Yes, personal power, it is related to the power of an individual person. It is given to an individual because of recognition of their followers, right? Yes, if that power is given to that particular person because the follower, they have given some positive indication about the behavior of a person. The next one is, it is based on a leader's personal characteristics, skills, and competency. Yes, so personal power is purely depends upon the characteristics, or the personal characteristics of an individual person. Then their skill, what type of skills they have, as well as they have the competency. Because of its internal nature, personal power cannot be taken, right? So due to some circumstances, the personal power cannot be taken away. Then next one is structural sources, right? So under structural sources, the first point is knowledge as power. Yes, we know that is, knowledge is power, so it is an important sources of power. Yes, knowledge, it is one of the important sources of power, and the individual or the groups who possesses critical knowledge are assumed to be very power of the power people in the organization. So normally the groups or the individual people who is possessing that knowledge, they are assuming to be very powerful. Yes, suppose that means one of these person, that suppose one person is having some power, and at the same time, if that person will posing some if one person is having some quality, and that person is having some ability or competency to accept the power, right? So in that case, we can say that The group who the positive critical knowledge are assumed to be very powerful people in the organization, right? Suppose one person is having some knowledge and the other person is having some power, right? If this person says that if one person is having some knowledge, then indirectly that person is thinking that I am a powerful person, because as we know that knowledge is power, right? So the concept of knowledge as power means in the department they can achieve the goals of the organization only through that knowledge, because in the organization the people they are performing the task or they are doing the task. They are doing the task means what? Now they are trying to innovating some new thing. They are trying to convert the raw materials into finished goods, etc. and etc. Right? So that's why it is necessary for an individual person to that's why we can say that if a person is having some knowledge, then we can say that the person is having some power. Then resource as power, right? So see resources. Normally in the organization we can find different type of resources. It may be material resource, then it may be machinery resource, it may be financial resource, it may be human resource, right? So now or we can say the technological resource or technology resource. Yes. So normally in the organization we can find the existence of different resources, right? So sometimes we can also say that resources are as also power, right? So organization need a variety of resources, right? Whether they will need for financial resource, whether they will go for HR resource, when they will go for equipment resource. Okay, so that means what the organization need different type of resources, including money, human resources, equipment, materials, then customs to the survive. For the survival of the organization needs different type of power. Okay, suppose if you are giving some extra resources to the organization, whether it is an employee, or we can say that whether you are providing it can also it can also the department groups or individual who can provide essential. Yes, if one person, whether that is an individual person or organizational group of persons persons are providing some resources to the organization, then we can say that normally they are the more powerful persons in the organizations. Then next one, decision making as power, right? So before that, let us discuss what do you understand by decision making. So decision making means it is a process of find out the best solution among the alternative solutions, right? So through the help of through the help of decision making, one person can find out the best solution, okay, or one person can find out, or one person can take the best decision, okay, but on the basis of the availability of the alternatives, right? So see, so the decision making process in an organization creates more or less power differences among the individual groups, right? Yes. So decision making also plays a very important role in the organization or in case of power, right? So if one person is taking all the decision, or if one person is involved in the decision making process of the organization, then more or less we can say that the person is a powerful person, right? So normally the managers they are exercise considerable power in organizations simply because of the decision making power, right? So normally the managers they are making the exercise of all the powers. They are the managers, they are taking all the decisions due to the power. Then network as a power. Yes, network, our network, internet network, or we can say that the normally here network means the relationship or the strong bonding among the employees, right? So see, if you have strong bonding among the employees, then definitely we can say that activity of an individual person is known as your power, right? So see, the existence of structural and situational power depends not only on access to information, resources, then decision making, but also ability to get cooperation in carrying out the task, right? So see what it means. You are collecting information, you are collecting resources, then you are taking decision. You can taking other equipments which are required to making that which are which are required to maintain that network, right? So managers and the departments that have connecting links with others individual department in organizations will be more powerful than those who don't have, right? Yes, those persons who are having good links with other people in the organization, they are more powerful, and the people who are the people who are having no good relationship or networks with others, they are not the powerful persons. Okay, then next one is your basis of power. What are the basis of power? So the basis of power is classified into three parts, that is coercion, remunerative power, and last one is your normative power, right? So coercion power, it means the ability to manipulate physical sanctions, including physical cherishment, then forcible destination to deprive a person of food, then sleep and other psychological needs, right? So force therefore required in order to be attend complaints, right? So example of such organization includes jails, then concentration campus, then some psychiatric hospital, right? So in case of coercion means it manipulate the physical sanctions, right? It manipulate the physical sanctions of other people. Then remunerative power. So remunerative power, it refers to the ability to manipulate material rewards and sanctions include salaries, wages, promotional and training, right? So remunerative power means the power which is related to remuneration, right? It may be remuneration power, it may be your salary, or it may be your wages, or it may be your promotion, or it may be your training. So for that, if one person, if one person is giving more salary, wages, then good professional activity, good providing salaries, promotions and training, then we can say that that is a remunerative means remuneration. Remuneration means the amount of money which is given by the employer to the employees due to for his work, right? So if one person is providing remuneration or salary or wages or bonus or promotions or training to the other persons, then we can say that that person is having some power. The normative power. Normative means certain norms. Norms means what? Norms means normally we can say that rules and regulations, right? So rules and regulations are also having or posing some power, right? So power rests upon human needs for approval and recognition. Yes, it refers to the ability to manipulate symbols, then including medals, then gadgets, then badges and certificates, right? So with the help of norm, if you are performing anything, right, with the help of norms, if you are performing anything, then we can say that that is normative power. So then next one is using power ethically. Okay, so first we'll discuss what do you understand by ethically. Ethically means what? Now what is ethics? Ethics means what? Now what is right and what is wrong, right? So what we are doing, normally what we are doing, we know that whether that is the right thing or wrong thing, right? So everyone in the world everyone in the world, all the time they are doing something. So whenever they are doing something, they know whether they are doing the right thing or whether they are doing the wrong thing, right? So yeah, that using of power. First one is, does the behavior produce a good outcome for people both inside and outside the organization? That means, what is the power? If one organization, if one person is use the power ethically, then whether that helps to improve the good behavior and good relation of the employees, the answer is no. Then next one is, does the behavior respect the right of all the parties? Yes. Whether the behavior of the employees, right? Whether the behavior, the second question is, does the behavior respect the rights of all the participants? Yes, the question emphasizes the direction of the individual rights. Yes, it is really based upon the individual rights. Then free speech, privacy, and the process of individual rights that are able to be presented. It is respect, if that behavior give respect to all the parties, then that is all ethical, right? So the parties should give respect not to all the persons. The parties should give power. The parties should give power or authority not to all the people. The next one is, does the behavior treat all parties equitable and fairly, right? Equitable means equally as well as fairly. Does the behavior, right? So does the behavior of the individual people treat all the participants or all the parties equally or fairly? Sorry, this question represents the criterion of the distributive justice, right? So power related behavior that threats one party's arbitrarily or benefits of one party and the extremely how we are using that power, whether we are using that power ethically or unethically, right? The next one is the reaction of power. So the reaction of power is that is compliance. So in case of compliance, it ensures when the people conform to wishes or directive of others so as to acquire favorable outcomes from themselves in return, right? Compliance power. So if you are getting something good, some favorable outcomes, right, in return, then we can say that that is compliance power. Then second one is your identification. So identification power, it occurs when people accept the direction or influence of others because they identify with the power holders and seek to maintain relationship with them, right? Identification means find out if one person is identifying, if one person is accepting the direction or the influence of others, if one person accepting the direction as well the influence of others, they and that person is also having some power, or that person is having some power, then we can say that that is identification. Then next one is your internationalization. So internationalization means the people adopt others' attitude and behavior because this course of action satisfies their personal needs or because they find those attitude and behaviors to be congruent with their own personal values, right? So that is internalization means internal means within, right? Sometimes sometimes due to your attitude helps you to give you some satisfaction, right? So if your attitude is to hold the power, right, if it is your attitude or if it is your ability or potentiality to hold some power, then that thing give you some internal satisfaction. Then using of power, right? So normally we are using the power in different way as a legitimate request. So legitimate means lawful request. So the manager requests that the subordinate comply because the subordinate recognizes that the organization has given the manager the right to make the request, okay, to make or to take the legitimate request means lawful request, right? So lawful request means what, it includes some rules and regulations, right? So it is the ability, or it is the law that the manager will solve the problem, or the manager will give respect to the request of the employees, and it is also lawful that the employees they will show their request to the manager. Then instrumental compliance. So instrumental compliance, it is based on the reinforcement theory of motivation. So the instrumental compliance is based upon the reinforcement theory of motivation. In this, from the exchange, then subordinate compliance to get the reward, the manager controls. Yes, so in case of instrumental compliance, the manager will give or the manager will comply the rewards to their employees, right? Then coercion. So in case of coercion, a manager is using coercion when he or she suggests or complains that the subordinate will be punished, fired, or warned if he doesn't do something, right? So a manager is using coercion power when he suggests or impulse that the subordinates will be punished, and implies when a manager implies that one subordinate can be punished or fired or one if he doesn't doing something. So suppose one person is not doing any mistake, but due to the power of the superior or the manager, they can give order to punish that employees or to fire that employee. Then rational persuasion, it occurs when the managers can convince the subordinates that compliance in the subordinates interest, okay. So see, it occurs that rational persuasion occurs when the managers can convince the subordinate, when the manager convince the subordinate that the compliance is in the subordinate's best interest, right? The next one is personal identification. So in case of personal identification, a manager who recognizes that he has referent power over a subordinate can shape the behavior of that subordinate by engaging in desired behavior. Yes, personal identification. If you have some personal identity or some separate identity in the organization, then definitely you will hold some power. So with the help of that power, right, or with the help of that skills, attitude and mannerism, yes. So individual power means you can influence the behavior of others, or you can influence others through your skills, through your potentiality, through your efficiency, through your attitude, as well as through your mannerism, right? You can influence the behavior of another person, or you can influence another person. But in case of organizational power, this is the ability to influence the behavior of other stakeholders in the organizations, right? You can, through that organizational power, you can influence or you can change the behavior of the other stakeholders. It is based on the individual's positions in the organization. It is purely based on the position, but in case of individual power, you can, there is no power, there is no individual position. Then sources of power. In case of individual power, it is derived from the official role or position within the organization, right? That is within the organization, that is individual power. But in case of organizational power, it originates from the individual personal qualities as well as attributes, right? So then next one is basis of influence. So your individual power, it is influence is based on authority guaranteed by the position. But in case of organizational power, it is influence is based on the individual's characteristics like skills, then how they are perceived by the other people, right? So that is known as in case of organizational power. Then dependence on title, right? What is the dependence on the title? So power is dependent on holding a specific title or role, right? So that is in case of individual power. But in case of organizational power, it exists independently of any officer title or positions. Then next to the types of power, that is formal power and informal power. Formal power means what? Now where we can find some rules and regulations are there, or some hierarchies are there, like top level, middle level and lower level. So through the formal power, the top level people can assign or can give some order to the middle level people. Then simultaneously the middle level people can give some order or power to the lower level people. So formal power always includes some norms or rules or regulations or principles or hierarchy, right? But in case of informal power, there is no positions, right? And there is no rules, there is no regulations, right? So the informal power can exercise in the organization only through trust or respect, or we can say that through the personal qualities or your social connections, right? Then next one is your influence. So normally influence means it is the ability to affect the actions, thoughts or decisions of other people. You are influencing someone means you are motivating someone. That means with the help of your action, thoughts or decision, you can influence others, right? So influence, it is a powerful force that shapes the opinion, inspires actions as well as drives the change. Then there are 9 tactics of influence, that is rational persuasion, then inspirational appeals, then consultation, then integrations, then next one is your personal appeals, then exchange reforce, then next one your pressure, then legitimate tactics. Okay, then these are the dynamism of power, dynamics of power. Informal power. Informal power means what? Now when there is no rules and regulations of power, then resistance in organization. Resistance in organization means if you can make any change forcefully with the help of power, that is resistance in change. Then distribution means distribution of power or authority among all the people or all the department which are existing in the organization. Then dependency means what? Now you have some dependency on other people, right? So normally we can say that if you are a responsible person, then you are responsible for a particular work. In that case, you will be dependent on other. Than uncertainty means where no certainty will be there. So power, it is not always in the hand of a single person, always it is always changeable, right? Then compliance, then power indicators. So through power indicators you will give order or instruction to the other people. Then determinants of power, so the power must have different determinants or different elements. Then consequences of power, that consequences means what is the result of power. Sometimes you will get positive result of power, and sometimes you can get the negative of power, or we can say that sometimes you will make the proper utilization of power, and sometimes you can make the misutilization of power. Then symbols, right? So see, with the help of power you can use different symbols. Then reputation, right? So power also give you some reputation. So if you have some ability or capability, or you have some potentiality to hold a power, then that thing give you some reputation or identity in the organizations as well as in the society at last. Thank you.